To avoid this diagonal clipping, we have to choose the value of R and C properly. Now, to avoid the time consuming mathematical analysis, we want to avoid this mathematical analysis, but we can calculate the ideal value of R and C in this way. So RC must be less than or equal to 1 by omega m. Omega m is the omega m equal to 2 pi fm. Fm is the maximum frequency component of the baseband signal, and ma is the modulation index. That means the choice of RC is dependent on the maximum frequency component and the modulation index. Well, this particular analysis is true only for single tone AM, and not only that, it is true only for MA less than 100%. That means modulation index less than 100%. But still, if we don't use single tone system, this RC, using this mathematical expressions, if we determine this RC, that will equally useful for multi-tone systems as well, because you will have some idea what should be the ideal value of R and C. So put those value of R and C and then you reduce it in this way. It's a practical procedure, but still we have some mathematical manipulation so that we can avoid this diagonal clipping. But keeping in mind, if we reduce this RC very small, then the amount of distortion will be very high. So after the demodulation part, you must note that we haven't considered the synchronous detector for AM. We will discuss synchronous detector in connection with the suppressed carrier system later on, and then we will say why it is not used in AM, because AM was a cheap system. It was designed to have a cheaper receiver, but if we use synchronous detector, the receiver cost would go high. But if we use this type of receiver, envelope detector or square detector or whatever may be, the receiver cost becomes low. So that is why we don't use synchronous detector. But still, if we use synchronous detector, we can demodulate AM. It is not that synchronous detector cannot be used, but from the cost point of view, synchronous detectors are not used. Let us now try to understand the disadvantages of AM. Everything should have some advantages and disadvantages. First disadvantage is the power wastage. When we analyze this power, we determine the carrier power, we determine the sideband power, upper sideband, lower sideband power, and also we determine the total power. And we have seen that the total power is the carrier power plus sideband power. Not only that, sideband power actually consists of the upper sideband and lower sideband. So for single tone system, we can determine this total power as right? Now, upper sideband and lower sideband is carrying the same information. This carrier is not carrying any information. So any one sideband is sufficient to reproduce the original message signal. But for AM, we have to send the carrier as well as one of the other sideband. So basically, these two components of power are wastage. So total power wastage in FM is the carrier power plus one of the sideband power. And we have seen that PC is very high. Minimum value of PC is of the order of 67% of its total power. So most of the power, it's a best case, but most of the time when MA equal to 1, but for when MA is less than 1, that is the usual case, the wastage of power is excessively high. So that is the biggest disadvantage of the AM. Next problem is the bandwidth. If FM Hz is the bandwidth of the modulating signal, then the bandwidth of AM is twice FM Hz. That means bandwidth requirement is higher than its baseband. Though we will see later on that compared to FM, the bandwidth is smaller. But still, compared to baseband signal, the bandwidth is doubled. So larger bandwidth is required to transmit AM compared to the baseband signal. And third point is the effect of noise. For any system, generally noise is added to the signal. Now once the noise is added to the signal, it affects more on the amplitude. And amplitude modulation system relies on the amplitude of the signal. And since noise affects much on amplitude, this AM system becomes excessively susceptible to noise. Unlike FM, in frequency modulation, the effect of noise is very, very small. We will see later on. But for AM, since amplitude modulation relies only on the amplitude and noise affects more on amplitude, so effect of noise is much, much high in AM compared to FM or other kind of modulation like phase modulation. So these are few disadvantages of AM. Now we will consider some features of AM. What are those features? First feature is less expensive transmitters. We have seen that the modulators of AM, we have considered two kind of modulators, diode modulators mainly. They are very, very cheap. So that makes the whole transmitter very, very cheaper. Second point is simple and easy detection. That we have also already seen. The detectors are very simple. It is just a diode, and detection process is also very simple. So this is one of the basic feature of AM. Third point is less costly receivers. A receiver may be like envelope detector. This one. This is just a diode, capacitor and resistor, nothing else. So receiver cost is very low. Fourth point, though it is not exactly the feature of AM, but for AM broadcasting system, the frequency region that has been chosen is of the order of more than 300 kilohertz and less than 1.6 megahertz. So that particular wave travels a longer distance. So, and since that particular range of frequency is chosen for AM, so AM wave can travel longer distance. So AM wave can travel longer distance. Though it is not the feature of exactly AM, it is the feature of this frequency range chosen for AM broadcasting. And fifth point is lesser bandwidth compared to other modulations. Other modulations means say FM. FM requires very large bandwidth. We will see later on. One of the application of AM is the radio broadcasting. So that's all of for AM with carrier. So in FM we have discussed all its features, its advantages and disadvantages, and we have seen that it has a basic problem of huge wastage of power. At the same time, the bandwidth requirement is higher. So we have to take measures so that we can remove these problems of AM. So first we will address the wastage of power. We have already seen that the wastage of power is mainly because of the fact that we have to transmit the carrier along with the AM signal, and carrier carries the most of the power and it is not carrying any information, so that is why it is wastage. So if we want to reduce this wastage of power, we have to remove the carrier first. That means we have to suppress the carrier. So this is one of the variation of AM called the double sideband suppressed carrier modulation. We will address, again I am telling, we are addressing the problems of AM one by one. So first we are trying to address the wastage of power. So to reduce this wastage of power, first we will suppress the carrier. Now from AM, if we suppress the carrier, Then from the AM expression, the carrier part will gone. So only the part will exist is the carrier multiplied by the message signal, ECT multiplied by EMT. Now carrier is assumed to be sinusoidal in nature, so AC cos omega CT multiplied by EMT. So this will be the expression for suppressed carrier double sideband AM. Look at this expression, there is no carrier, plus AC cos omega CT is not present here. So this is the expression for suppressed carrier system. Now if we take the Fourier transform of this expression, then the corresponding spectrum will be like this. Transformation will be like this: SF equal to AC by 2 M F minus FC plus M F plus FC, where MF is the Fourier transform of EMT. Fourier transform of EMT. So if MF is this, with a bandwidth frequency extend from 0 to W Hertz, 0 to minus W Hertz, and M0 is the peak value. This is arbitrary signal, mind it, this is arbitrary signal. In that case, the corresponding DSB-SC that we have already discussed here, this is MF minus FC plus MF plus FC. So spectrum will be this MF shifted by amount FC. The same MF will be shifted by amount FC. So it will be shifted in plus FC as well as minus FC. So the total bandwidth will be, maximum value will be FC plus W, minimum value will be FC minus W. So total bandwidth is twice W, where W, it is a low pass signal, so W is the bandwidth of the message signal. So bandwidth requirement for double sideband suppressed carrier system is twice W. That means double that of the message signal. But note that there is no spike present here. In AM there was a spike, but here the spike is not there because we have already suppressed that particular spike. So this is the spectrum of DSB-SC signal. Now we have to consider the generation of DSB-SC. We have already seen that DSB-SC is, expression for DSB-SC is this: carrier multiplied by message. So practically it is the product of two signals. That means if we have a system that will produce the multiplication of two input signals, that will be treated as the DSB-SC modulator. That means it should produce the multiplication of the input signals or product of two input signals. That is why this type of modulators are called product modulators. Now we will consider simple balanced modulator for the generation of DSB-SC. Here we have to use two identical AM modulators. we have already studied AM modulators, so we have to use two identical AM modulators. EMT is the baseband signal. So in the first or upper modulator, we must have two signals. One signal is the message signal, another is the carrier. One oscillator is there, that oscillator is producing this carrier signal. So the carrier is taken as AC cos 2 pi fct, and this AM modulator will produce a signal which is amplitude modulated signal with carrier this one and baseband this one. In the second AM modulator, we have to provide minus EMT with the help of some inverting amplifier. We can produce minus EMT. The same carrier is used here, and the corresponding AM is S2. Then we have a subtractor, and the output is ST. So S1T is an AM signal, S2T is also an AM signal, but with minus EMT as baseband. So let us see how it works. So S1T can be written as AC into 1 plus Ka EMT cos 2 pi fct. K is just a constant, is a sensitivity part. Similarly, S2T is equal to AC into 1 minus Ka EMT into cos 2 pi fct. Minus sign because EMT is negative here, minus EMT. So we have S1, we have S2, then we have a subtractor. So the output voltage ST can be written as ST equal to S1T minus S2T, that is equal to twice AC Ka EMT into cos 2 pi fct. If you see this expression carefully, that there is no carrier part. Carrier is absolutely nullified. So we have the product of the message signal with the carrier. These are nothing but the constant. You can change this constant with the help of amplifier or attenuator. But the thing is that the output voltage is the product of the baseband signal and the carrier signal. So this is a DSBSC signal. And this is the operation of balance modulator. Now we will consider another kind of DSBSC modulator, which is called the ring modulator. It is also called chopper modulator. The basic circuit is like this. This is the modulating wave. This is the modulated wave. The carrier wave. Here the carrier is square in nature. Carrier is given right here. From that we have two center tap transformers, and through the center tap we are providing this carrier wave. We have 4 diodes. These 2 diodes, the outer diodes, are facing towards right, and these inner diodes are facing towards left side. So this is the basic circuit. Now this carrier wave controls the forward bias and reverse bias of these diodes during the positive half cycle of the carrier signal. If the carrier signal is positive and is square in nature, for positive half cycle, these two diodes, these two outer diodes will be forward biased because the potential at this point is larger than the potential at this point. So they are forward biased, and obviously these two diodes will be reverse biased. So this ABCD section during its positive half cycle, of the carrier, this ABCD section will be like this. So connection is straight, the straight connection or bar connection. Now during the negative half cycle, the potential at this point is larger than the potential at this point. So inner diodes will be forward biased and outer diodes are reverse biased. So the connection is now crossed in this way. That means diodes are controlled by the square wave carrier of frequency Fc applied through a center type transformer that we have already seen. On and off of the diodes are controlled by carrier signal or carrier square wave carrier. So under this condition, the modulator multiplies the baseband signal EMT by +1 when the carrier supply is positive, and it is multiplied by -1 when the carrier supply or carrier is negative. Thus, the ring modulator is a product modulator for a square wave carrier, and the baseband signal, and we will try to understand this operation with the help of this diagram. So assume EMT is this. This is EMT, the message signal. This is the carrier, square wave carrier. During positive half cycle of the carrier, the outer diodes are on and EMT is multiplied by +1. So EMT, the output signal will be like this. EMT will be multiplied by +1, so it will move like this. But during the negative half cycle, that same EMT will be multiplied by -1. So instead of going in this direction, it will suddenly go to the other side of the amplitude, and since it is multiplied by -1, so whatever may be the voltage, the voltage becomes negative. So it will move in this direction. At this point, we have positive half cycle, so again it will be multiplied by +1. It will move in this way. Then again it will be multiplied by -1. So it will going on in this way. So under this condition, by multiplying alternate multiplication of +1 and -1, we will have this type of waveform. Now since this one is a periodic function, square shape, we can express this square shape periodic function in Fourier series. So ECT is equal to 4 by pi summation -1 to the power n minus 1 divided by 2n minus 1 cos 2 pi FCT into 2n minus 1. So ring modulator output will be ECT into EMT. So this one is multiplied by simply EMT. This one is multiplied by EMT. This is the final output. Putting different values of n, we will get different components. So first put n equal to 1. So if we put n equal to 1, then it becomes 3 minus 1, sorry 2 minus 1. N equal to 1 means 2 into 1 minus 1, so 2 minus 1 means Fc. So for n equal to 1, this one will be multiplied, this one becomes emt into cos 2 pi fct along with some coefficient, and this is the desired signal. Now for n equal to say 2, 3, 4 etc., you will have thrice fc, 5 fc etc., and these are the out of band signals, so that must be removed from the modulator using some band pass filter. So the spectrum of this particular circuit look like this. This is the FC component, this is 3 FC component. So higher the components, lesser will be the power, but you have to eliminate these things, otherwise lots of power will go with the 3 FC and 5 FC, all those components. So you must have a band pass filter, and the band pass filter will allow only the component around FC. Now this ring modulator is also called the double balance modulator, because it is not only balanced with respect to carrier, but it is also balanced with respect to the baseband, whereas the previous modulator means balance modulator, simple balance modulator, is balanced with respect to just one parameter, but this one is balanced with respect to both the carrier and the baseband signal. So this is the end of the generation of DSB-SC.